What's up, triathletes? Coach Erin here from Full Circle Coaching, and today we're going to be talking all about the bike. So, different bicycles for different purposes. This is a road bike, which can be totally used for triathlon. The difference between a road bike and a tri bike is the seat tube angle. So the angle here on a road bike is more laid back. So I don't recommend using a road bike for triathlon with aero bars. I like road bikes to be used as road bikes and triathlon bikes to be used as triathlon bikes because of the geometry and the comfort, right? So if you have a road bike, I don't recommend putting aero bars on it. Just use it as a road bike the way it was meant to be, and you can totally still do a triathlon on it. So the parts of the bike are super important to learn as a beginner triathlete. So we're just going to review the different parts of the bike. So the handlebars you have on a road bike, you have handlebars that have the bottom. There's three different areas: the tops, the hoods, this is the brake hoods, and then the drops. Those are the three different hand positions, and I can demonstrate those when I get on the bike later. But basically you can put your hands here, put your hands on the hoods, or put your hands on the drops. In a tri bike it's different. So you have more options and more chances of being comfortable on a road bike. So if you're a newbie, you know, a road bike can be a good option for you. So obviously the seat, this is the seat tube, the top tube, and then you have your wheels. I have some aerodynamic wheels that have a little bit of a dish in here, meaning that they're gonna cut through the wind a little bit faster. You'll see wheels that don't have any dish in them, and those are more like training wheels. So as on a beginner tri bike or road bike, you're gonna have more simple wheels. So the most important parts of the bike, I'm gonna put that stuff down for right now, to make sure you know how to ride the bike safely, is to remember that your right hand controls the rear derailleur of the bike. And the derailleur is what shifts the gears, okay? So your right hand controls the rear. Your right hand also controls the rear brake, okay? So right, R for right, rear. Left hand controls the front. So when we are riding the bike, we want to be really good at practicing how to shift our gears. And we can talk about that in a moment when I'm on the bike, what it means to be in the big ring versus the small ring in the front, and using your cassette, which is all the different gears in the back. It's also important to have on a brand new bike or whatever bike you're using a flat tire kit. Because even if you might not know how to change a tire yet, somebody who hopefully you're riding with or someone who maybe goes by could help you. So make sure, this is my flat tire kit. It's usually a kit, you can buy it at the bike store that has everything you need to change a flat tire. I do have another YouTube video on how to change a flat tire that you can check that out on my YouTube channel. So basically those are the important things about the bike. You always want to have a water bottle that you can drink out of with one hand, not a screw top water bottle. That's really, really important. You need to stay hydrated on the bike. And then having a bike computer to measure your efforts is also helpful. It can measure how far you've gone, your RPMs, which is really, really important to be able to measure how fast your legs go around in a circle. And that is something that you can control. So that's a great way to learn how to train on the bike, is measuring your RPMs, your effort, and hopefully your heart rate using a watch or a bike computer, okay? So those are the basic parts of the bike. And you want to make sure your bike fits you well. So getting a bike fit is essential, and I actually have a video on how the bike should fit also on YouTube, meaning there should be a certain degree of bend in your knee, and you should be able to hold a certain posture to feel comfortable on the bike. If you're not comfortable on the bike, that can be a problem and you can end up getting injured. So make sure you get a bike fit when you're on your bike. So always, 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 you want to never ride your bike without your helmet. Okay, so your helmet should fit comfortably on your head, not too tight, and you should be sure to have it buckled with a little bit of space, but not much. I see a lot of athletes, new athletes, and the strap is hanging down about 6 inches, and there's no way that's going to protect your head if you fall off your bike or something happens. You want to make sure it fits snugly, right? You have no straps covering your ears, and just 2 fingers can fit in here comfortably, but you can look down and all around with no problem. Never ride your bike without your helmet. Since I'm inside today, I'm not going to use my helmet. Okay, sunglasses, super duper important on the bike. You're driving down the road, you're riding down the road, debris can fly up at any time, so I highly recommend sunglasses that fit well, but are ventilated too. These are an old pair, vintage pair that I love, and you can also change the lenses so that they're clear, so you can ride them in the morning or in the evening hours or when it's cloudy outside and still see the road really well, and it can protect your eyes. Gloves, essential, just to help protect your hands. Down here in South Florida also, it's super hot and muggy, so we sweat a lot, and sometimes your hands can get super slippery and literally just slip off the handlebars. But it's also helpful for hand protection in case something happens and you fall over, you'll protect your hand. And it also has a little padding here so that it protects your nerves, so that sometimes your hand can go numb from holding onto the handlebars. So the gloves are just a great tool to always include in your cycling kit. So cycling kit, this is a cycling top. It has sleeves. I also have pockets in the back that I can hold my phone or any food I might need. This is a typical cycling jersey. And these are cycling shorts. And they tend to have a bigger pad to help you sit comfortably on the bike saddle for longer periods of time. But I would not do a triathlon in this. This is strictly for training on the bike. And I have examples of what a triathlon kit looks like, but basically it's no sleeves, a thinner pad, and something that you can swim, bike, and run in. I would not swim in this outfit. This is just for cycling. Learning how to pump up your tires. You always want to check your tires before you leave on the bike, and always make sure that the bike is secure. So, make sure the wheels can spin comfortably so your brake isn't rubbing, and then you want to be able to test your tires by pressing them. If they're soft to the touch, it usually means that they need a little air. You can pump up your tires. It says right on the sidewall of the tire how much PSI you want to put in each tire. Typically between 90 and 120 PSI for most wheels. And if you get a bike pump that has that gauge, it'll tell you right there. But it is a little bit tricky sometimes to learn how to pump up the tire, so make sure you've practiced before you head out on the road. So mounting your bike is very important. I see a lot of newbies out on the road and they have their butt hiked up on the saddle and they're on their tippy toes, and this is a very precarious position. You want to have both feet on the ground when you're stopped, okay? And you're going to pick one foot, typically a dominant foot, to keep clipped in while you're mounting the bike. So basically you want to clip in with one foot. If you don't know how to use your clips, practicing on a trainer is a great way. So I clip in with my left foot. Some people clip in with their right foot. You usually have one that you favor, so you want to practice and find out which one that is. And then you're going to pull up and push down to sit down on the seat. And if you need to, you can just pedal with one leg to get across the street, okay? I typically put my hands on my hoods to start off because my brakes are there as well. So in case the bike is moving, I can squeeze the brakes. We're gonna do that one more time. So I clip in, I pull up, I push down, and then sit down, pedal a couple of revolutions to get some momentum. And when I have the time, I clip in with my other foot at the 6 o'clock position at the bottom. Okay, so my most comfortable and recommended position for your hands is on the hoods, right? So up at the top where you have access to the brakes. You want to have a super relaxed hand and relaxed elbows and upper body. See how I'm slightly leaning forward. But if I want to, I can change my hand position to the hoods or the drops at any time. This is my fastest position because I make most of the drag on the bike. So if I can lower my body, I'll have less wind resistance. So let's talk about shifting the gears. Right now, my RPMs are very quick because I'm in my small ring in the front. So you control, your left hand controls the big ring and the small ring in the front. I'm going to go ahead and go in the big ring, so I have a little bit more resistance. And with my right hand, I control my gears in the cassette. In the front, the big ring provides more resistance and the small ring is easier. And in the back, with my right hand, I control the big ring in the back. It's easy, and the smallest ring is harder. So you want to practice when you first start out, practice shifting your gears all the time and making sure that you feel comfortable when you need to go faster or slower, being able to shift your gears properly. Braking. So braking is super duper important, right? You want to have the ability to brake safely. So what that means is feathering the brakes. Always have one foot out just in case you need to clip out. Feather the brakes, and then you're going to step down and stop the bike completely. Try not to skid to a stop. Be assertive in that stop when you need to stop. As a newer cyclist, or even all the time at any level of competition or racing, it's important to be comfortable pedaling with faster RPMs. A lot of athletes just constantly have a lot of resistance, so RPMs between 85 and 95 is actually a skill to get comfortable at, and having a computer that can measure that for you is super important. And how do you achieve your RPM rate? You adjust the gears, and it depends on the wind and the incline. But try to have an RPM or aim for an RPM between 85 and 95 almost all the time, unless you're doing specific intervals. So that's a lot of information, and the best advice is to get on your bike and practice in a safe place, okay? So I recommend a parking lot where there's not a lot of traffic, where you can practice just stopping and starting safely, always making sure you're having your helmet on, your sunglasses, your gloves, just in case you might topple over. It's very normal when you first use clips to have a few accidents. Even wearing some knee pads could be a good option for the true beginner. But honestly, it doesn't have to happen that way, and I'll have a session, I'll include a video shortly about how to practice doing the clips, because it is a skill that you want to not be in a rush to acquire. But once you learn the clips, or even practice with no clips and just have your sneakers on top of the pedals, but just go out there and ride your bike. Practice stopping and starting, turning, braking, shifting the gears, and the more you ride, the better you're going to be, just as a skill, right? So it's a new thing, and you want to make sure safety is a priority. So happy cycling! Don't forget to like and subscribe, and please share this with your friends if you have any other friends that are interested in learning how to bike. Wishing you well.